The year is 1929. The location, Topkapi Palace in Istanbul, the heart of the old Ottoman Empire. A team of scholars is undertaking a mundane task, cataloging the vast, forgotten contents of the palace library. Amidst piles of ordinary documents, a German theologian named Gustav Deismann picks up a curious bundle. It is a map, hand-drawn on gazelle skin, dated to the year 1513. The map is stunning, a masterpiece of 16th century cartography. But as Deismann and his colleagues examine its details, a sense of profound disbelief begins to creep in. The coasts of Africa and South America are there, drawn with an accuracy that seems uncanny for its time. But it's the bottom of the map that turns disbelief into shock. Extending from the coast of South America is a detailed, sprawling landmass. A coastline that shouldn't be there. A coastline that bears an eerie resemblance to the continent of Antarctica. This is impossible. The continent of Antarctica wouldn't be officially discovered for another 300 years. But the mystery deepens into the realm of the truly paranormal. The coastline on this 500-year-old map doesn't show the continent as we know it today, buried under 2 miles of solid ice. It appears to show the land itself, the rock and soil of a continent free of its ice cap, a condition that hasn't existed for at least 6,000 years and possibly millions. This is the riddle of the Piri Reis Map, a historical document that seems to hold impossible knowledge. Is it a fluke, a coincidence? Or is this map a ghost of surviving page from an atlas of a lost human history, created by a civilization that saw the world long before we did? To even begin to understand the map, we have to understand the man who made it. This was not the work of a fantasist or a mad monk. Its creator was Admiral Haji Ahmed Mahidin Piri, known to history as Piri Reis. He was one of the most brilliant and respected figures of his time. A Turkish admiral in the powerful Ottoman Navy, a seasoned navigator, a geographer, and a master cartographer. He was a contemporary of Leonardo da Vinci and Christopher Columbus, a man of the Renaissance, of science, and of rigorous exploration. The map found in 1929 was a fragment of a much larger project, a complete world map which he presented to the Ottoman Sultan, Selim I, in 1517. It was part of his masterwork, the Kitab-i-Bari, or Book of Navigation, a comprehensive atlas of the known world. This was a document of immense strategic and scientific importance. And crucially, Piri Reis was not trying to hide his methods. He tells us exactly how he made it. In a series of detailed notes, or marginalia, written directly onto the map itself, he explains his process. He claims he didn't invent this map from scratch. Instead, he compiled it. He used around 20 different source maps. Some were modern, from Portuguese explorers. Others, he claimed, were ancient, dating back to the time of Alexander the Great. And then he drops a bombshell. He says one of his most important sources was a map that had been seized from a captured Spanish sailor. A sailor who had sailed on 3 voyages to the New World with a Genoese explorer, a man named Christopher Columbus. Piri Reis claimed to have in his possession a lost map, drawn by the hand of Columbus himself, showing the lands he had discovered. This detail alone makes the Piri Reis Map a priceless historical document. But it is the mystery of his other ancient sources that pushes the map from history into legend. When cartographers began to seriously study the map, they confirmed Piri Reis' skill. The depiction of the western coast of Africa and the eastern coast of Brazil is stunningly accurate. The distance between the 2 continents is almost perfect. This proves he was working with excellent source material and knew how to integrate it. But the further south you go, the more the mystery deepens. The map's most debated feature is that southern landmass. In the 1950s, a professor named Charles Hapgood took a closer look. He argued that this coastline was not just a guess. He compared the shoreline on the Piri Reis map to a modern map of Antarctica, not the one we see today covered in ice, but a subglacial map created using seismic echo sounding to reveal the true shape of the continent's rock beneath the ice sheet. The resemblance was uncanny. It appeared to show bays, inlets, and peninsulas of Queen Maud Land in Antarctica, a landscape that no human has seen for thousands upon thousands of years. Hapgood's theory was explosive. The Piri Reis Map must be a copy of a copy passed down through generations from an original source. Map created by a highly advanced ancient seafaring civilization that charted the globe when Antarctica was still ice-free. Hapgood sent his findings to a prominent scientist for his opinion. That scientist was Albert Einstein, who wrote back in a now-famous letter, "His idea is original and simple, and, if it continues to prove itself, will be of great importance to everything that is related to the history of the Earth's surface." The anomalies didn't stop there. Later analysis suggested the map was drawn using a sophisticated form of cartographic projection, a way of transposing a spherical globe onto a flat surface. The map appears to use an equidistant projection centered near modern-day Cairo, requiring an understanding of spherical trigonometry that was supposedly not in use in Europe at the time. It contained impossible information, drawn with impossible mathematics. The case for an ancient super-civilization seems powerful. An impossible continent mapped with impossible precision. But for every one of these claims, the academic and scientific mainstream has a compelling and rational counter-argument. They argue that the mysterious southern landmass is not Antarctica at all. It is simply the coast of South America, likely Patagonia and Tierra del Fuego, which has been distorted and bent eastward by Piri Reis to fit onto the limited space of the gazelle skin parchment. It was a common practice for cartographers of the era to distort coastlines to make them fit. Skeptics point out that the names and illustrations in that part of the map clearly refer to features of South America. The notes describe the region as being hot and full of snakes, hardly a description of Antarctica. Furthermore, while parts of the map are accurate, others are wildly wrong. The Caribbean is distorted, and Cuba is depicted as part of the North American mainland. The map is a masterpiece, but it is a flawed one. The supposed accuracy of the Antarctic portion, they argue, is a case of wishful thinking and confirmation bias. We are seeing what we want to see. So, is that it? Is this just a case of a distorted map being misinterpreted by modern enthusiasts? Not quite. Because even if the landmass is just South America, the central mystery remains. How did Piri Reis map it so accurately in 1530? How did he know about the Andes Mountains, which are depicted inland? How did he have access to knowledge that surpassed that of his European contemporaries? The mystery shifts from Antarctica to the nature of his source maps, especially the lost map of Columbus. The Piri Reis Map sits at a fascinating crossroads between established history and radical possibility. But perhaps its true value lies not in what it proves, but in what it represents. It is a physical artifact of compilation, a testament to the fact that ancient knowledge, passed down from sources we can only guess at perhaps from the lost Library of Alexandria, which Piri Reis himself mentions, was still circulating among the intellectual elite of the 16th century. Piri Reis was not a mystic. He was the librarian of a forgotten world, and this map is the one surviving page from a library that has now vanished. The end of the story is a tragic one. For all his brilliance, Piri Reis fell out of favor with the Ottoman court. After a series of military failures, he was unceremoniously executed in 1554. His immense collection of maps and knowledge was scattered. The surviving fragment of his world map is all we have. The other half, showing the rest of the world, has never been found. So we are left with this cartographic ghost, a window into a lost world of knowledge. We may never know if an ancient civilization saw Antarctica without its ice. But the Piri Reis Map proves that there are layers to our history that have been forgotten, entire libraries of human experience that have turned to dust. The map isn't the final answer. It's a clue, pointing to a much larger and more profound mystery. What other secrets? What other masterpieces? What other worlds were on the ancient maps that Piri Reis held in his hands? The map is a ghost of a forgotten world. But what happens when the mystery isn't a map, but a manuscript written in a language that no one on Earth can read? If you were captivated by the Piri Reis Map, you must learn about the enduring enigma of the Voynich manuscript, the world's most mysterious and unreadable book.